that? Oh my God.
I know. Sound you haven't heard in so long.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
How is it that we've solved hearing loss by creating implantable devices that allow deaf people to hear for the first time ever, but experts still claim there's no cure for tinnitus? You've probably been told by doctors that you just have to learn to live with that ringing that drives you insane, while they rake in billions from ineffective treatments that do nothing to stop the noise. But one whistleblowing researcher just made a groundbreaking tinnitus discovery that has the big pharma CEOs sweating bullets. By using classified military medical files and breakthrough research from Harvard, this maverick scientist developed a clinically proven solution that silences even the most severe cases of tinnitus, starting in just days, and without drugs, hearing aids, brain training, or strange devices. That's because this scientist discovered that tinnitus has almost nothing to do with age, noise damage, or even your ears at all. That demonic ringing actually originates in a microscopic cluster of brain cells that have gone rogue. And in the same way a broken radio plays nonstop static, these rogue cells bombard you with those blaring fire alarm noises that drive you insane. Shocking new evidence proves these cells go rogue due to a common item found in millions of homes, maybe even yours. Fortunately, this genius researcher developed a 10-second bedtime ritual that silences rogue cells and reduces tinnitus volume by an astounding 84.21% in peer-reviewed clinical trials. Skeptical? I wouldn't blame you. After all, most doctors and so-called experts claim there's no cure for tinnitus. They'll tell you to just live with it or offer you risky surgeries and expensive medications that do nothing to stop the relentless ringing. But this bedtime ritual is based on cutting-edge research from top universities like Harvard, Oxford, and Cambridge. And it's already given peace and quiet back to over 46,532 people just like you. 61-year-old construction worker John Pearson from San Antonio exclaimed, "I didn't believe it would work, but it did. That hellish ringing stopped completely. I have my life back. Anyone with tinnitus needs to try this. It could save your life." 52-year-old airline mechanic Fred Hartz from Sarasota remarked, "Every doctor said I'd have to learn to live with the ringing, but I followed the ritual in the video and the noise faded very quickly. I wouldn't have thought it was possible if I hadn't done it myself. This ritual also freed me from the satanic ringing that nearly destroyed my family." So you'd think a tinnitus breakthrough this powerful would make headlines everywhere, right? But it's not. Why is that? Obviously, this discovery would cost Big Pharma and the greedy hearing aid companies billions in lost revenue as tinnitus sufferers finally find true relief. But the real reason is even more sinister. Soon you'll discover the ugly truth even trusted doctors have hidden about tinnitus for years. And then once you start doing this simple bedtime ritual, you'll sleep soundly through the night. You'll enjoy conversations, movies, and music again. Headaches, dizziness, and brain fog will fade away, and you'll finally have your sanity back. My friend, this isn't just about muting the ringing, it's about restoring the life tinnitus stole from you. So keep watching. You'll see Ivy League proof this ritual works. You'll discover which doctor-recommended tinnitus remedies and drugs actually raise the volume on the ringing. You'll discover how Harvard scientists know when tinnitus isn't just a mere annoyance, but actually a warning sign of a severe brain disease. You must stop before it's too late. And most importantly, you'll discover step by step the 10-second bedtime ritual that mutes tinnitus faster than doctors ever thought possible. But I must warn you, the pharma execs know there's zero money in a tinnitus solution that requires no drugs, implants, or expensive devices. That's why their lawyers have already tried to wipe this video off the internet. Our website is up safely for now, but we don't know how much longer we can hold them off. So please take this warning seriously and stick with me until the end of this presentation, because if you're suffering from tinnitus, this is the last solution you'll ever need. Hi, my name is Stephen Griffin. I live in Corpus Christi, Texas with my wife, Cindy. I'm a father to 2 wonderful children and grandfather to a beautiful 6-year-old girl named Ella. For the past 30 years, I've worked as one of the world's top independent health researchers. My discoveries have brought true healing to over 120,000 people, just like you. But my biggest breakthrough came when I faced my own nightmare battle with chronic tinnitus. A battle that almost destroyed my family. It started one Tuesday morning about 3 years ago when I woke up to a high-pitched squeal in my left ear. I'd had ringing in my ears before, typically lasting only a day or two before fading away on its own. But this ringing didn't stop. And over the next few months, it changed my life in ways I never could have imagined. Maybe you can relate. The shrill ringing, whistling, and buzzing drowns everything out. You feel like a deaf old fool constantly asking people to repeat themselves. You can't focus at work with that fire alarm blaring in your head. You lie awake at night, exhausted, praying for a moment of silence that never comes. The noise follows you everywhere, driving you insane. And you probably fear that satanic racket will never end. I sure did, especially since the volume seemed to get louder each day, with no signs of quieting down. So I reached out to my network of doctors and scientists for advice. I read every clinical study I could find, and I tried all sorts of different remedies. Special diets, vitamins, sound machines, brain retraining therapy, acupuncture, meditation, but nothing worked. So I made an appointment with an ENT. He checked my ears, ran some auditory tests, and said casually, as if it was no big deal, "You have tinnitus. I'll give you some meds to help you sleep at night, but you'll just have to learn to live with it, because there's no cure." Those 4 words hit me like a sledgehammer. How can someone learn to live with an alarm blasting 24/7 inside their head? But something didn't smell right. We have miracle cochlear implants that let deaf people hear, but medical science still hasn't found a solution for ringing ears? Either doctors were missing part of the puzzle, or as we've come to discover, Big Pharma was covering up the solution and even bribing doctors to push phony baloney pills that do jack all. Did you know drugs prescribed to people with tinnitus, like antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds, don't actually make the ringing go away? Nope, they just temporarily make you feel better. In fact, UCLA researchers actually found those drugs make tinnitus worse. Look, the greedy pharma CEOs don't care if you lose your sanity. They only care about fattening their wallets. In fact, you'll soon see smoking gun proof that Big Pharma has been hiding a proven tinnitus solution for decades. The same tinnitus solution that's helped 46,532 people regain silence and mental peace. I'm positive it will free you from tinnitus too. I know it certainly gave me relief when I needed it most. Heck, it may have even saved my life. Because a few weeks after that doctor's appointment, the annoying ringing morphed into a piercing whistle that not even the shower could mask. Cars honking, police sirens, and my grandkids screaming made it 10 times worse. I'd jolt awake at 3 a.m. as that squeal bored deep into my skull, and I'd fantasize about ripping my ears off just to make it stop. God must have been punishing me, because why else would he put me through this? Soon that sadistic ringing would lead to the darkest day of my life. It was my 60th birthday, and my wife wanted to invite friends and family over for a barbecue, but I wanted no part of it. Tinnitus made me irritable, impatient, and just plain unpleasant to be around, but I felt obligated to do it for my family. Fast forward to me greeting everyone in the backyard, smelling grilling burgers, hearing kids laughing and playing tag, and although the ringing made it hard to hear, I enjoyed catching up with folks I hadn't seen in ages. Until 5 words sent my world crashing down. My 6-year-old granddaughter Ella found a small metal whistle and ran around blowing it over and over, which amplified the ringing in my head tenfold. "Please stop that, sweetie." "Oh," I said, gently patting her head. "But have you ever met a 6-year-old that actually listens?" She blew that damn whistle nonstop. I clenched my fist trying to ignore it, but each screech felt like a hot dagger stabbing my brain. I could feel my heart pounding, sweat dripping down my neck. And then I just snapped. "Stop blowing that effing thing," I erupted, snatching the whistle out of her hands. The cheerful chatter stopped. Everyone gawked at me in shock and horror. Ella burst into tears and cowered behind her mom's legs. "Ella, grab your things, honey. Grandpa needs a nap," my daughter stormed out. Later, after everyone left, I was helping my wife do the dishes, and boy, did she let me have it. "I know the ringing bothers you, but that's no excuse to curse at your granddaughter. I can't even look at you," she cried, slamming the bedroom door. I stood over the sink with tears streaming down my face. That noise had stolen so much from me already. But realizing I was a monster in my family's eyes hurt more than anything. Honestly, sticking a gun in my mouth and pulling the trigger seemed like the only escape from this torture. And yeah, I know that's an incredibly dark thought. But countless others battling tinnitus have felt that same desperation. Now, I'd never put my family through that, but I couldn't live like this anymore. and I couldn't keep waiting for a miracle that may never come. But how would I escape this hell if every doctor claims there's no cure? Well, I can only conclude what happened next was an act of divine intervention. After finishing the dishes, I grabbed a beer and sat on the porch to clear my head. I scrolled through old photos on my phone, remembering better times before tinnitus, when a photo from a barbecue caught my eye. In it, I'm standing beside Dr. Kenneth Monroe. Dr. Monroe is a brilliant audiologist I'd met on a mission trip in Guatemala about a decade ago. Dr. Monroe helped villagers suffering from hearing problems due to exposure to loud machinery in the nearby textile factories. I remembered how Dr. Monroe's skills and kind heart brought hope to so many people. And I also remembered how he talked about working outside of the corrupt big pharma system, using proven remedies the drug companies and doctors ignore. Maybe he could help me. It was a long shot, but I was desperate. The next morning, I called the only phone number I had for him. No answer. So I left a message. No reply. I called again the next day, but still nothing. I asked around about Dr. Monroe, but no one had heard from him in years. No one even knew if he was still alive. 3 days later, I reluctantly called again. And by God's grace, he picked up. I wasn't sure if he'd remember me, but his voice was warm and friendly, as if no time had passed. We chatted about family, work, and then I spilled my guts. I confessed how tinnitus was destroying my life, how my granddaughter thought I was a monster. I even admitted to having suicidal thoughts. My voice cracked as I struggled not to sob. I asked if he knew of any alternative treatment that could stop tinnitus. After a long pause, Dr. Monroe said in a hushed voice, "My father suffered from tinnitus for years. He couldn't sleep or focus. It made him angry and irritated all the time. Eventually, he fell into a deep depression, and it got so bad that he took his own life." I was shocked. I had no idea Dr. Monroe had such a personal connection to this condition. Dr. Monroe continued, "Ever since then, I've been researching and trying to find a tinnitus solution that could have saved my father. And now I'm about to reveal something Big Pharma doesn't want anyone to know. But you deserve the truth." He explained that about a year ago, he'd received a confidential document from a trusted colleague, an insider who had been part of a covert collaboration between the military's top brass and the brightest minds from elite Ivy League institutions. The project aimed to find a solution for soldiers suffering from tinnitus, a common problem for veterans exposed to loud explosions and gunfire. Dr. Monroe said that these researchers did find a way to fix the root cause of tinnitus and help our brave soldiers and millions of people just like you. But then, just as the findings were about to be published, something terrible happened. Dr. Monroe said, his voice trembling with anger, "Congressman, deep in the pockets of Big Pharma, caught wind of the research. They knew this solution would ruin the $250 billion tinnitus and hearing loss industry, so they used their influence to convince the military to squash the project and bury the evidence." I was stunned. How could they do this? How could they put profits over the well-being of millions, especially our veterans who had sacrificed so much? And somehow Big Pharma found out Dr. Monroe had seen the research himself. So they sent their lawyers after him, and they threatened to ruin his career if he ever revealed the truth. Dr. Monroe then said, "But I feel like your phone call is a message from my Father above, telling me it's time to expose what I know. But Stephen, I need you to understand the risk I'm taking by sharing this information with you. If Big Pharma finds out I've told anyone about this, they'll ruin my reputation and everything I've worked for." I swallowed hard and I assured Dr. Monroe that I understood the risks. Then Dr. Monroe took a deep breath and he said something that still gives me chills to this day. First, he explained that Harvard research proves tinnitus does not come from the ears at all. A little-known research paper shows tinnitus actually originates in a tiny cluster of cells buried deep in your brain. Dr. Monroe explained, "You know when you tune an old radio, searching for a clear station without static? Well, our brains contain special cells that also act as radio tuners. They're called microglia." Dr. Monroe said that when a sound hits your ears, it travels deep into your brain and directly into the microglia. The microglia instantly tune and clarify the sound, just like turning the radio knob so the baseball game comes in clear. In fact, if you can hear these words now, you can thank your microglia for making it possible. The problem, Dr. Monroe emphasized, is that microglia are extremely sensitive. Even the slightest disruption damages microglia and causes them to go rogue. And just like a broken radio blasting static, rogue microglia blast you with ringing, buzzing, and hissing that only you can hear. Medical experts call this condition microglial dysfunction. And here's the really shocking part. Dr. Monroe said that, yes, loud noises can make microglia go rogue. Yet state-of-the-art imaging technology reveals the real trigger that sends microglia off the rails is something much more surprising. Something hiding in your very own home. Everyday toxins, Dr. Monroe explained gravely. New studies in journals like the International Journal of Audiology show toxins in our food, our water, our beauty products, and in medicines like aspirin can all damage microglia and cause them to fire off phantom noises that aren't real. Now, we all know our polluted world is not doing our health any favors, so it makes perfect sense that toxins could trigger tinnitus, right? But one thing didn't add up. Dr. Monroe, if unavoidable toxins are all around us, then why don't all people have tinnitus? I asked. Dr. Monroe said toxins alone don't always directly cause tinnitus. It's only when enough toxins accumulate in your body over time, combined with noise damage, eating nutrient-poor processed foods, and genetic susceptibility. This all pushes microglia past their breaking point and triggers the awful ringing and buzzing. And considering there are now over 70,000 toxins in our modern world that our bodies are not equipped to handle, it's no surprise cases of microglial dysfunction and tinnitus are skyrocketing faster than ever before. Dr. Monroe said he developed a simple 4-question test to diagnose if you're suffering from microglial dysfunction. 1. Do you hear constant ringing, buzzing, or hissing that won't stop? 2. Has this noise worsened over time? 3. Are you over 40 years old? 4. Do you struggle to recall names, dates, or faces? If you answered yes to 3 or more, there's a 99% chance you're suffering from microglial dysfunction. So what can we do about this, Dr. Monroe? I asked, desperation creeping into my voice. Dr. Monroe paused before answering. The documents mention specific nutrients that can fix microglial dysfunction and stop tinnitus. But with Big Pharma breathing down my neck, I've been too afraid to pursue this research on my own. But I can't ignore it anymore. I'm going to use my contacts to find out more about these ingredients and get them for testing. Give me a month and I'll call you as soon as I have the results. But soon a month passed and I still hadn't heard back from Dr. Monroe. I tried calling him, but he didn't pick up. As the days went by, my hope began to fade as the ringing got louder each day. I tried to stay positive, but doubt crept in. What if Dr. Monroe's story was too good to be true? Finally, my phone rang, and Dr. Monroe practically shouted, "I'm sorry it took so long, but I had to be absolutely sure before calling." I took the formula from the confidential document and put it to the test in the lab, and the results are beyond anything I could have imagined. Dr. Monroe explained in the tests and research he'd conducted, he'd found that this special combo of 3 nutrients helps silence rogue microglia, flush away toxins, and shield microglia from further damage. Studies reveal these nutrients reduce ringing by 84.21% in weeks and eventually silences it completely. Dr. Monroe revealed the name of each nutrient, and I'll share them with you right now so you can start using them right away. Just please pay very close attention. This is urgent information the pharma cartel has tried to bury, and it may not be available much longer once they find a way to censor it. First, Dr. Monroe found an ancient plant that's been used for thousands of years in traditional Asian medicine. A groundbreaking study published in the world-famous Phytomedicine Journal shows this plant silences rogue microglia, which lowers the volume on those phantom noises. And the studies are nothing short of amazing. In fact, European researchers were utterly blown away when they saw this plant reduce tinnitus volume by an astounding 84.21%. Seriously, 84.21%. And that 84.21% reduction means no more sleepless nights, no more trouble concentrating, and no more feeling hopeless and exhausted. You finally enjoy the peace and quiet you've been craving. But that's not all. A 2020 study found this plant works better than hearing aids for experiencing crystal clear, tinnitus-free hearing. And another 19 studies show this miracle plant is the real deal when it comes to turning off that ringing, buzzing, and hissing for good. This plant's name is maidenhair tree. Now, following this amazing discovery, Dr. Monroe looked into how to flush toxins that damage microglia in the first place. He knew, like we all do, that avoiding all toxins in our modern world is literally impossible. Fortunately, Dr. Monroe found one of the world's most powerful toxin fighters on top of Japan's snowy mountaintops. Studies published in two of the most prestigious medical journals, Neural Regeneration Research and Biochemistry Research International, prove this rare Japanese mountain herb flushes tinnitus-triggering toxins right out of your cells. Something no drug, therapy, or device will ever do. This miracle herb's name is Matsucha. So to recap, maidenhair tree silences rogue microglia, and Matsucha flushes out tinnitus-causing toxins. They're a perfect pair. Now, Dr. Monroe said that these two nutrients alone should be enough to stop the ringing for most people. However, once the ringing is gone, I assume you never want it to come back, right? Of course. Well, Dr. Monroe said he'd found a powerful European fruit extract that practically guarantees permanent tinnitus relief. That's because a study published in the renowned Nutrients Journal found this fruit creates a protective wall around your microglia. This shield protects your microglia from loud noises, toxins, and other factors that can cause tinnitus. This means that once the ringing is gone, this fruit makes sure that it's gone for good. But that's not all. This fruit is also proven to help boost memory, concentration, and recall. That's super important because Harvard research shows microglial dysfunction also causes dementia and Alzheimer's. And that explains why tinnitus is the #1 warning sign your brain is starting to fail. So if you're suffering from ringing ears, you need to stop microglial dysfunction now before the damage becomes irreversible and you end up losing your precious memories. The good news is that when you use this fruit extract to protect your microglia, you'll not only silence your tinnitus for good, but you'll also make sure you never end up in a memory care facility. This miracle fruit extract's name is Olea europaea. So to recap, Olea europaea, Matsucha, and maidenhair tree all work together to end microglial dysfunction and to end tinnitus permanently. Just imagine, how much better will your life be without the constant noise? How wonderful will it be to finally sleep peacefully again? How good will it feel to be more present with your spouse, children, and grandchildren? As Dr. Monroe finished unveiling these incredible ingredients, I felt a surge of hope and excitement, but I was also pretty ticked off. The big pharma execs have spent decades brainwashing the public that tinnitus is a hopeless life sentence, just so they can protect their billion-dollar cash machine that pays for their private jets, yachts, and beach mansions. And heck, I was just as brainwashed as anyone, and I've been a health researcher for decades. Because even after Dr. Monroe laid out all of the clinical evidence, part of my brain still didn't believe this formula would end my tinnitus. Dr. Monroe must have sensed my skepticism because he said, "I still have small samples of each nutrient. Give me your address and I'll ship them to you to test for yourself." A week later, a package with 3 concentrated extracts arrived, along with very specific instructions for how to take them. Dr. Monroe made it clear that this formula only works when you take the ingredients in the perfect ratio and doses. So I carefully measured the extracts, mixed them in a glass of water exactly as he specified, and then I said a prayer. And did I see results? Well, after diligently following this protocol for 3 days, the ringing seemed a little less shrill, but it still kept me awake at night. I thought, yeah, dummy, of course this was way too good to be true. But I kept going. And thank God I did, because around day 7, the ringing softened, as if this formula was slowly turning down the volume. By day 14, the fire alarm noise faded to a faint hum I could even ignore. And after 3 weeks of taking these nutrients, I was jumping for joy. The buzzing and ringing wasn't totally gone, but I could finally sleep through the entire night. I woke up feeling more energized and in a better mood than I had in ages. And as the days went by, the improvements only got better. My hearing dramatically improved. Words were crisper. Conversations were easier to follow. My wife said I stood up straighter and that I just seemed more relaxed and loose, like a boulder had lifted from my shoulders. I was on cloud 9 except for the whole situation with my granddaughter. I drove over to make amends. At first, she was still hesitant to see me, until she spotted the big old Oreo blizzard I'd brought her. She smiled ear to ear and led me inside. We gorged on ice cream, played Nintendo Wii games, and watched Peppa Pig like old times. It was the best day. When it was time for me to leave, she hugged my leg and said, "Grandpa, I love you." Man, I couldn't help but tear up, and I couldn't believe how quickly Dr. Monroe's formula changed my life. Just weeks before, I was exhausted, angry, and even suicidal. Now I felt like $1,000,000. Still, a little voice in my head whispered, "This isn't going to last. The ringing will come back." But to this day, as long as I follow my bedtime ritual and take these anti-tinnitus nutrients, the noise has never returned. And now, I want the same for you. My friend, it would be absolutely criminal to keep this breakthrough to myself while millions suffer needlessly. I called Dr. Monroe and he agreed. He said, "I don't care if Big Pharma has me arrested. We need to help people." However, Dr. Monroe said he'd only be comfortable sharing this with the world if he did everything in his power to make it the last tinnitus solution people would ever need. Fast forward a few weeks of research later, and Dr. Monroe had uncovered 5 more nutrients that work synergistically with the first 3, so you experience even better and even faster results. First, we added a potent 100 milligram dose of hawthorn berry extract and 5 milligrams of vitamin B6 to speed up microglia repair. Then we packed in clinical doses of folate and niacinamide to boost blood flow to the brain. This extra blood flow helps flush out toxins and waste products that damage microglia and cause tinnitus. And finally, Dr. Monroe insisted we add a potent extract of garlic bulb powder to further shield your microglia and provide extra reassurance that once the ringing is gone, it never comes back. And when you combine these 5 tinnitus-silencing nutrients with maidenhair tree, matsucha, and Olea europaea, you have 8 clinically proven nutrients working together to silence the noise permanently. And this specific combination is the secret sauce behind this formula's power. These 8 nutrients work 2 to 3 times better together than by themselves. That's why this formula works for pretty much everyone who tries it. And I've seen the proof firsthand. Because through Dr. Monroe's patient network, we found 68 people of all ages to test our upgraded formula. People like John, a 59-year-old Louisiana pastor whose tinnitus used to make Sunday sermons feel like standing inside a bell. And Dan, a 72-year-old retired construction worker who suffered ringing due to years of working on loud job sites. Now, we expected some people would improve. But what happened next was truly a miracle. My phone was soon flooded with emotional calls. People were crying tears of joy. They told me how they're sleeping through the night again, how they can actually hear and understand conversations with loved ones, how their migraines and dizziness vanished, how they no longer needed their antidepressants, anxiety pills, or sleeping pills. Some folks even donated their hearing aids. And almost everyone said, "Your formula gave me my life and my sanity back." It was incredible. And a sign that we now have a moral obligation to share this formula with the world. The only catch? A 1-month supply cost $1,500 to produce. Remember, these are rare medicinal plants harvested by hand in remote regions across 3 continents. Sourcing them takes months of coordinating with local farmers and botanical experts. The nutrients must also be combined in precise doses for maximum effectiveness. It's a labor-intensive process that involves a lot of people. And while the wealthy could easily fork over $1,500 a month, we insisted this formula be affordable for everyone, especially for folks on a fixed income. So Dr. Monroe called in a favor with the head of a FDA-approved U.S. lab. He helped us obtain ultra-pure compounds of each ingredient that only a few elite research institutions typically have access to. He also helped us obtain large, bulk quantities for 80% less than what retailers normally charge. Then we put precise doses of all 8 nutrients into an easy-to-swallow capsule you take daily. And after close to a year of taking on loans, spending tens of thousands of dollars on research and development, and consulting with legal experts to fend off Big Pharma, I'm thrilled to present Silence Guardian, the only solution that targets microglial dysfunction, the root cause of tinnitus and hearing issues. Imagine a life where the ringing, buzzing, and hissing in your ears fades away. A life where every conversation is crystal clear and your connection with loved ones deepens, because tinnitus no longer dominates your life. My friend, there has never been anything like Silence Guardian in the history of hearing health solutions. Eliminating that awful racket has never been easier or more automatic, as the stories of over 46,532 people confirm. Tom G. from San Diego. The constant ringing was driving me insane. I tried everything, but nothing worked. Within weeks of taking Silence Guardian, the noise was gone. I can finally sleep again. I'll never stop taking this. Michael T. from Houston. I was losing hope until I tried Silence Guardian. Not only did the ringing stop, but my hearing is much better than before. I can watch TV and enjoy music again. I couldn't be happier. Sarah L. from Nashville. Silence Guardian didn't just quiet the noise, but it cleared my brain fog too. I'm more focused, my memory's sharper, and I feel like myself again. Now it's your turn to feel like yourself again too. Just take 2 small capsules of Silence Guardian daily and let science do the rest. Soon you'll sleep like a baby all night long and wake up clear-headed, relaxed, and finally be able to enjoy life with loved ones again. Every bottle of Silence Guardian is produced in a FDA-approved, GMP-certified facility right here in the USA. Silence Guardian is natural, safe, non-GMO, gentle on your stomach, and is tested by a third-party lab to verify quality and purity. And in a moment, I'll share how you can secure your own supply of this life-changing formula. But first, consider this. If money were no concern, how much is it worth to permanently silence the relentless ringing? How much is it worth to sleep soundly through the night? How much is it worth to no longer dread family gatherings and to feel more present with your spouse, children, and grandchildren? Is it worth $5,000, $10,000? Can you even put a price on feeling sane again? Well, you won't pay anywhere close to 10 grand for Silence Guardian. Even though many folks burn through tens of thousands of dollars on useless treatments that will never fix the root cause of tinnitus. Listen, this isn't about money for me. This is about understanding the pain, anger, and hopelessness tinnitus causes. I refuse to let you or anyone else suffer one more second. Since I've been blessed to discover this formula, my only goal is to get it into the hands of as many people as possible. And I refuse to let the price stand in the way. That's why you won't pay the $597 price my accountant recommends, which, crazy enough, is actually an extremely fair price when you consider how much it costs to acquire Silence Guardian's rare nutrients. And even though increasing production costs will force us to charge $197 per bottle in the upcoming days, you won't pay $197 today either. Today, you'll receive a special 65% discount when you order through this video presentation. Right here and only on this page, you can secure a 1-month supply of Silence Guardian for just $69 a bottle. Yes, just $69, and you don't risk a single penny. But before you order, know this. Research confirms it's best to take Silence Guardian for at least 90 to 180 days to fully eliminate tinnitus and ensure it never returns. And if you're over 40, medical experts strongly recommend you take Silence Guardian for 180 days and beyond. You see, while Silence Guardian works very quickly, the toxins that trigger microglial dysfunction and tinnitus are everywhere. In fact, you could live like a monk at the top of a mountain, and you'd still be at risk of these toxins damaging your microglia again. Listen, I don't want that to happen. I want you to never have to even think about tinnitus ever again. Fortunately, studies show these ingredients have a buildup effect. That means the longer you take Silence Guardian, the more powerful and permanent your results become. The clinical studies and customer success stories prove it. And in knowing that, I have a moral obligation to do everything I can to make sure you have enough Silence Guardian on hand for months to come. After all, once you experience the joy and peace of no longer living with tinnitus, I'd hate for the ringing to come back just because you ran out of Silence Guardian and couldn't reorder because we're out of stock. That's why I'm offering you a chance to grab a 6-month supply at an incredible one-time discount of just $49 per bottle. That's a whopping $20 off each bottle. Plus, you'll also receive free shipping, which saves you another $9.95. This brings your daily investment of ending tinnitus down to less than the cost of a cup of coffee. Plus, when you order a 6-month supply in the next 5 minutes, you'll also receive free instant access to a $200 mystery bonus package. Now, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but this mystery package contains an easy-to-follow blueprint on what to do before you receive Silence Guardian in the mail so you can start taming the noise before your supply arrives. This bonus package also contains a simple kitchen secret that makes Silence Guardian work even faster. For everyone else, this mystery package costs $200. Yet you'll receive free instant access when you grab a 6-month supply right now. Pretty good deal, right? Heck, short of treating you to a fancy steak dinner, there's no way I could make this a better deal. Rest assured that this is also a one-time payment. There are no hidden subscription or recurring fees. However, I can only promise this record low price until our current stock is gone. And since the 6-month Silence Guardian packages continue flying off the shelves, we'll probably sell out before the end of the day. Then it will take 6 to 8 months before another batch is available. And since our suppliers recently confirmed costs are rising rapidly, the price will certainly be higher. That's why 96% of people grab the 6-month package. They save a fortune up front, they avoid out of stocks and price increases, and they guarantee they experience the best results. 1 month of Silence Guardian turns down the volume, 3 months improves your hearing and sharpens your mind, and 6 months and beyond silences tinnitus forever. That makes choosing the 6-month package the smart and responsible decision. Just ask Frank from Houston, who said, 6 months on Silence Guardian and the ringing just stopped. I can think, I can hear, I can live without that noise haunting me. I'll never stop taking this. God bless you. And listen, even though Silence Guardian has received countless 5-star reviews from people like Frank, I understand if you're still skeptical. And who could blame you? You've probably tried it all. Sound machines, pills, doctor visits, and what do you have to show for it? Probably nothing except a hole in your wallet. But that's exactly what the dollar-crazed pharma CEOs want. They want to keep you coming back and spending more money without ever finding a real solution. But that ends right now, because Silence Guardian is the only natural formula designed to repair rogue microglia and tinnitus. The science backing all 8 cutting-edge nutrients is overwhelming, and so are the real-life results. You've heard a few stories from the over 46,532 people whose lives it's changed. You've seen Silence Guardian work wonders for me, so you know it will probably work for you too, and I'm actually going to go one step further and 100% guarantee Silence Guardian will end the ringing. When you join us right now, you're protected by our ironclad 180-day money-back guarantee. If Silence Guardian doesn't live up to your expectations, simply call or email our award-winning customer service team, and we'll refund your entire purchase, no questions asked. Our friendly customer care team and I are easy to get a hold of. We'll always be here to support you, no matter what. The bottom line is, I'm not asking you to believe anything yet. I'm just asking you to test drive Silence Guardian for 6 months, and then decide if it's right for you. You don't risk a single penny. You only risk letting this once-in-a-lifetime chance at silence slip away. You'll have 6 months to experience the incredible impact this breakthrough formula will have on your life without risking anything. So go ahead and select our best-selling 6-month package before we sell out, and let's bring silence back to your life. Now, let me be super clear about one thing. You'll never be able to buy Silence Guardian cheaper than today. I can only offer today's incredible price because I've partnered directly with the manufacturer so that we can ship directly to you right away. That's also why Silence Guardian is not available on any other website. So beware of any product claiming to be Silence Guardian on Amazon, eBay, or anywhere else, because it's not. It's a scammer ripping off our name and using fake, dangerous ingredients to make a quick buck. So do not buy it. You'll only find the real Silence Guardian formula that's helped over 46,000 people on this secure page. But be warned, the drug companies hate what we're doing. They view Silence Guardian as a major threat that will take away their private planes, speedboats, and exotic beach homes. We're working hard to fend off Big Pharma's lawyers, but it's an uphill battle we may end up losing. Which is why if you're here right now and Silence Guardian is still available, it's vital that you stock up before it's too late. Okay, provided we still have Silence Guardian in stock, you'll see 3 money-saving options below this video. Tap Add to Cart on the best-selling 6-month package for maximum savings, or choose any other money-saving package. You'll then be taken to our 256-bit secure checkout page. Enter your details, confirm your order, and we'll rush ship you your supply in a discreet package for complete privacy. You're protected by our 180-day money-back guarantee, so you risk absolutely nothing. And if you're still on the fence, you may not realize it yet, but you've just come to a very real crossroads of a once-in-a-lifetime decision. It's time to choose between two very different realities. The first choice is a reality where you do anything other than fix the one problem holding you back from the life you truly deserve. But that reality is full of even more pain, frustration, and despair. Because if you choose to do nothing, if you choose to ignore the proven science and the countless success stories of people just like you, your tinnitus will worsen and the volume of the ringing will increase. Until one day you find yourself completely trapped inside of a body and a life that's a shell of what it once was, of what it could have been, and what it should have been. How would you feel in a week, a month, or even a decade from now if tinnitus is still tormenting you night after night? It's a tragic reality in which you may never experience real peace ever again. Oh, and remember how tinnitus is also the first warning sign of dementia? As those microglia continue to go rogue, they also continue to eat away your brain cells and your precious memories. Can you imagine if your memory and hearing deteriorates to the point where you're completely dependent on loved ones for even the most basic tasks? Gosh, I hear so many stories of adult children sacrificing their lives to care for aging parents. They burn through their life savings to pay for nursing home costs. And is that what you want for your loved ones? Just so you can waste away in a wheelchair, wear a diaper, and not even remember your kids' names? Look, I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that because far too many people wait until it's too late, and tinnitus takes everything from them, including their precious memories. Heck, I was headed down that same road until God put this miracle solution in my hands. And even though my tinnitus is gone now, the ringing stole years of happiness that I'll never get back. That's why I'm giving you some tough love now. You don't have to suffer another 5, 10, or 20 years with that awful ringing. You don't have to become a prisoner inside your own mind and body. You don't have to risk losing your independence or getting trapped in a nursing home. You can choose a different reality, a new reality that's already been chosen by over 46,532 men and women who have faced this very same once-in-a-lifetime crossroads. You can choose a reality where the torturous ringing and failed attempts at recovery no longer exist. A reality where every morning you wake up revitalized, vibrant, and looking forward to the day. My friend, imagine waking up to pure silence, hearing the world like a crisp, clean radio station. Your mind is sharp, focused, and relaxed. You feel a deep sense of calmness you haven't felt since before tinnitus began. You enjoy every conversation, every joke, and every precious "I love you" whispered by loved ones. At night, you fall asleep and stay asleep like a baby riding in a car. And you can finally breathe a sigh of relief because the noise is gone and your tinnitus nightmare is finally over. That's the reality Silence Guardian promises. A reality in which every relationship you have, the decisions you make, and the opportunities that come your way are all positively affected by the new tinnitus-free you. A reality where exciting opportunities you once had to pass up are now within your grasp. A reality in which you're finally free from the ringing, free from the torment, free from what was holding you back from the life you truly deserve. And let's face it, this is the only reality that's worth living. You may never forgive yourself if you let today's once-in-a-lifetime opportunity slip through your fingers. My friend, it's time to do the smart thing. It's time to do the right thing for yourself and your loved ones while there's still time. Look, life is very short. Another day ruined by tinnitus is a day you'll never get back. Don't let yourself suffer one more day. Don't ignore the proven science and success stories from people just like you. Silence Guardian gives you the power to live the fulfilling, joyful life you deserve, today, tomorrow, and forever. Just don't let this opportunity pass you by. It will not be available for much longer. Take advantage of today's 100% risk-free opportunity right now. Select our most popular 6-month package, and let's get you back to truly living again. God bless you and your family. This is Stephen Griffin, signing off. Still here? I know we just covered a lot. Let me answer some of the most common questions people have. Question number 1. How does Silence Guardian work? Silence Guardian contains a special blend of 8 rare nutrients that have been scientifically proven to calm microglia, switch off tinnitus, and repair your hearing. Key ingredients like Olea europaea, Matsucha, and maidenhair tree all work together to fix microglial dysfunction and end your tinnitus nightmare. Question number 2. Why haven't I heard of Silence Guardian before? Silence Guardian contains exclusive nutrients that Big Pharma and the hearing aid companies have desperately tried to cover up for years. They know this formula replaces their addictive, dangerous, and useless medications and would destroy their billion-dollar empires. Dr. Kenneth Monroe first stumbled upon these nutrients after seeing a pharmaceutical cover-up that would have led to this cure for tinnitus. Dr. Monroe pleaded with colleagues to share this miracle with the public. But Big Pharma funds nearly all scientific research and ruthlessly crushes anything that threatens profits. The Big Pharma crooks don't care if the ringing drives you insane. They only care about filling their pockets with cash. That's why, despite knowing about Silence Guardian's breakthrough nutrients, they continue pushing antidepressants, benzodiazepines, and other useless treatments. Fortunately, we're defying Big Pharma and sharing Silence Guardian's tinnitus-eliminating power with the public. Over 46,532 people now praise this life-changing formula Big Pharma has tried desperately to keep hidden. Now it's your turn to turn off that ringing for good. Question number 3. Who is Silence Guardian for? Silence Guardian is for anyone suffering from tinnitus, hearing loss, brain fog, or any other kind of auditory or brain problem. It's helped real customers like John P. from San Antonio. This is unreal. The noise stopped. That hellish noise stopped. I can't believe it. Thank you so much for sharing this. Tom G. from San Diego. The constant ringing was driving me insane. I tried everything, but nothing worked until I tried Silence Guardian. Within weeks, the noise subsided. I've got my silence back, and with it, my sanity. Michael T. from Houston. My hearing was fading, and so was my hope. Then Silence Guardian came along. Not only did the ringing stop, but my hearing is sharper than it's been in years. It's like getting a piece of my youth back. Sarah L. from Nashville. Silence Guardian didn't just quiet the noise. It also cleared my brain fog. I'm more focused, my memory's sharper, and I feel like myself again. And over 46,532 other men and women have felt the Silence Guardian difference. My email inbox is full of stories like these. Question number 4. What happens after I order today? After you place your secure order, Silence Guardian will arrive within 5 business days. Take 2 easy-to-swallow capsules daily with food. In as little as 1 week, you'll notice the volume going down on that ringing, and the results will just keep getting better the longer you take Silence Guardian. That's why we recommend you grab the 6-month package to save the most money and kick tinnitus out of your life forever. Question number 5. How long until I feel relief? Studies show Silence Guardian's ingredients start working fast, with relief starting in just a few days for many people. But for full tinnitus reversal, the clinical trials suggest it's best to take Silence Guardian's nutrients consistently for 6 months and beyond. That's exactly what real customers like Dave have found works best too. Dave told us the volume went down starting in about 7 days, dramatic improvement by month 3, and complete and total tinnitus relief by month 6. And Dave still takes his Silence Guardian daily to make sure the ringing never comes back. Listen, don't just treat the symptoms. Think of Silence Guardian like a multivitamin. Take it consistently to resolve the root cause of tinnitus at the cellular level and repair your hearing for good. Question number 6. What if Silence Guardian doesn't work for me? Silence Guardian is backed by our 180-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, just contact our customer service team for a prompt and courteous refund. No questions asked. You risk absolutely nothing. Question number 7. How long will Silence Guardian be available? Silence Guardian contains an exclusive formulation of 8 ultra-rare nutrients you simply can't find anywhere else. They are sustainably harvested in remote regions during tiny seasonal windows. Our suppliers follow special preservation methods to ensure every nutrient meets our rigorous standards for purity and potency. However, due to supply chain issues and inflation, our costs continue rising. We will have no choice but to raise prices in the upcoming days. That's why our smartest customers are stockpiling 6-month packages to lock in savings before we're forced to increase prices. Unfortunately, Silence Guardian's popularity has also caught the attention of Big Pharma. They've unleashed their lawyers in an attempt to ban this formula because it could steal billions from them in lost drug sales. We're fighting hard, but we can't guarantee Silence Guardian will be available in the coming months. That's also why our smartest customers stock up on the biggest packages. They never want to be without Silence Guardian, and they love saving hundreds of dollars too. Just click the 6-month option below, complete your order, and Silence Guardian will be in your hands in just a few business days from now. Plus, there's no risk because of my ironclad 180-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and grab the 6-bottle package right now to secure your supply. Still here? Still on the fence? Take a second and think hard. Think hard about what the next 6 months could look like. Heck, think about what the next 6 years could look like if you chose not to take action right now. You'd still be tossing and turning in bed. You'd still be driven insane by that screeching in your head. You'd still endure the relentless ringing and miss out on the fullness of life. My friend, why on earth would you suffer through all of that when you can enjoy the sweet sounds of silence thanks to Silence Guardian? The only difference in what happens 6 months or 6 years from now is the action you take right this second. Because if you left this page without taking action, you may never know the true peace that can be yours. Look, I'm not even asking you to believe anything yet. I'm just asking you to try Silence Guardian for 180 days and then decide for yourself. You're protected by our 100% money-back guarantee. You don't risk one single penny. You've already seen how Silence Guardian has the power to change your entire life. And now it's time to unshackle yourself from the tinnitus chains that bind you. It's time to set yourself free. Hit the button below to secure 6 months of Silence Guardian and take back control of your life. Look, this isn't a joke. This is your future we're talking about here. You already made it this far, so we both know you're serious. Now's the time to prove it. You watch this video. You've seen it work for me. You've seen it work for others. You know it will work for you. You see that Add to Cart button below? Well, it's not just a button. It's your escape hatch. It's you breaking the chains and finally saying, enough is enough. That ringing will no longer control my life. It's not your fault you're suffering, but now that you know a real solution exists, it will be your fault if you don't use the solution to end the ringing. Look, if you're truly committed to breaking free from tinnitus, the decision is easy. Take action now or forever wish you did. Tap the link below to secure your 6-month Silence Guardian supply. I'll also have a special surprise waiting for you on the other side that I can't publicly talk about here. It's something you'll have to see to believe. So grab 6 bottles now, and I'll see you on the other side where I'll show it to you.